What is up, boys and girls? Welcome to TVET Tutorials. Doc over here. I am back. Yes, I am back with another video for you guys. Today's video we are doing applied management N4, and a couple of questions I will be answering today are from the question paper of 26 November 2019. All right, let's go ahead and look at those questions. There we go. Just these ones. All right. As always, remember to follow your instructions. If you are required to give guidelines that should be implemented in order to improve learning skills, you need to provide guidelines that should be implemented in order to improve listening skills. Right? Let's go ahead and look at the first question. It says here, communication is important in an organization for it to be effective. State the requirements for effective communication. Right, so what are the requirements for an effective communication? First requirement is clarity. Right, so the message should be clear and easily understood. Obviously, if I am talking to you right now, whatever I am saying needs to be clear and it should be very easy to understand. Right, consciousness. Information should be concise, avoiding unnecessary details. Right, so stick to the message. If you try going around corners while trying to communicate, you might easily digress from your message. Understand? So your message needs to have it needs to avoid using unnecessary information. Right, and then there is consistency. Now, messages should be consistent across various communication channels. For an example, as I am communicating to you guys through this video, you will either see it on YouTube or you will see it on Facebook or whatever the case may be. However, the main message within this video needs to be the same across. You understand? So if I'm communicating something to you, especially to the masses, your message needs to be there needs to be consistency within your message or whatever channels you are using. You understand? You cannot now go to a different platform and then your video is different. It talks about something else. However, you're trying to spread the same message. You understand? And then there is also feedback. Right? There should be a mechanism for feedback to ensure understanding. Now, feedback, understand that it is a way for organizations to know to know what their target market's response is about their product, for an example. You understand? So if maybe an organization is advertising something and people are not responding too well to that product, that is determined through feedback. You understand? So it is very important to have feedback in your whole communication process because it lets you know that the message has been received, therefore this is the response to your message. You understand? And then there also needs to be openness. An open and transparent communication culture fosters trust. You understand? If maybe, for an example, you're advertising something and the public starts asking questions about whatever you're advertising. How does it work? How do you manufacture it? When you become open, when you become open with them, it allows the whole communication process to unfold effectively. You understand? Let's go ahead and look at the next question. Give the guidelines that should be implemented in order to improve listening skills. Right? So the first guideline is active listening. Focus on the speaker, show interest, and provide feedback. Basically, active listening is participating into the entire conversation. As the person is speaking, you actively listen. You are 100% in the whole conversation. You understand? So that's the first guideline to improve listening skills. Practice active listening. Right. Another guideline is to avoid interrupting. Right. When you allow the speaker to finish before responding, you understand, it paints a picture of you that you are a good listener. You understand? So when you allow a speaker to complete whatever sentence they are trying to complete, it improves your listening skills. You understand? And then there's also clarification. Seek clarification when something is unclear. If I said something that you didn't understand and you ask a question, Doc, what did you mean by that? You're seeking clarification. You understand that? That is a way of improving listening skills. Non-verbal cues. Pay attention to body language and other non-verbal signals, right? Non-verbal cues, basically, it is all the words that are unspoken, but you can see them in a person's body language. You understand? If I am smiling at you and I'm saying I'm not okay, my body language says the exact opposite of what I just uttered out of my mouth. You understand? However, so when you are able to pay attention to those type of things, that improves your listening skills, because most of the communication that comes from most of the time when someone is communicating with you, everything that they are actually saying to you isn't only said through words, it is also being said through their body language. You understand? So if you pay attention to such things, you become a very good listener. You understand? And then there is also patience. Now, allow the speaker to express themselves fully before responding, right? This one is more or less the same as avoiding interruption. Now, with patience, it's just that as I am speaking right now, you practice enough patience to let me speak everything that I want to say before you respond. You understand? There is this famous saying that goes like, listen to understand, not respond. You understand? So if you actually become patient and give the person who's speaking chance to finish whatever they are saying, you are able to process everything that they have just said, and you are able to effectively provide feedback. You understand? So that is why patience is very important in improving listening skills. Let's go ahead and look at the next question. It says, explain 2 ways in which an organization can communicate externally. Right? There's quite a number of ways. One of them is through CRM, customer relationship management. Right now, implementing CRM strategies to engage with customers and gather feedback. This can involve this can involve using customer databases, surveys, and feedback mechanisms to understand customer needs and preferences. Basically, when you are say maybe for an example, you are advertising a product, right? That is one of the many ways of communicating externally, right? You say you're advertising a product and you want to see how your target audience will respond to that product. You understand? So through your advertisement, maybe you will start analyzing your customer retention to say how many customers are you getting to keep, or how many new customers are coming in because of this new product that you advertised. You understand? So that is just one of the ways of organizations communicate externally, through literally advertising their product, putting it up on maybe billboards or stuff like that. You understand? And things like that. And then you get feedback, or even surveys, conducting surveys with your customers. That's another way of communicating with organizations communicating externally. You understand? If maybe you want to gather information from your target market to say, okay, before we advertise this product, for an example, let's try to gather information and look for exactly what is it that they want. You understand? And we do that through maybe surveys or questionnaires and stuff like that. You understand? And then you have networking and partnerships. Building and maintaining relationships with external partners such as suppliers, industry associations, and other stakeholders. Effective networking can lead to collaborations, shared resources, and valuable insights into industry trends. You understand? Now, when you have a good relationship, maybe with your stakeholders, for an example, you know that in terms of maintaining a good image or a good brand for the organization, you stand in good power with it. You understand? So a way organizations that ensure that is the case is using or maintaining that positive relationship with maybe their suppliers or industry associates or stakeholders, all those. You understand? So that is another way of organizations particularly communicate externally. You understand? And then let's look at the next question, which says, describe the steps in the decision-making process, right? Decision-making process, right? So the first step in the decision making process is to identify the problem or the opportunity, right? So when you are in the decision making process, you say maybe for an example, you're about to implement change, right? So there has to be a decision making process before that whole thing. First, you need to identify a problem or the opportunity for you to actually implement the change. If there's no problem or there's no opportunity for you to implement change, then you don't necessarily need to implement change. The next step is to gather information, right? Now you have determined that, okay, I need to implement change for this reason. Now you need to collect information. You need to do some research, maybe understand when you implement this change, how is it going to affect you? You understand? Is it going to be beneficial or is it not? You understand? So you need to collect information and consider such things. You understand? And then the next step is to analyze the information that you just collected, right? And then you have the developing alternative solutions. With your information that you've analyzed, you need to now implement or draft plans. You understand? Draft plans or implement those plans on how you are using this information that you have just analyzed. You understand? And then you need to select a best solution. Now, remember, for every problem or opportunity, there needs to be an objective, right? So now you need to identify the best way to achieve that opportunity or to solve that problem. You understand? And then the next step is to implement that solution you chose. You understand? And then you have the evaluating step, which is you look at basically the progress or the progress your decision has made, if it needs to be refined or is it effective. You understand? So you basically evaluate the decision's effectiveness. You understand? Go ahead and look at the next question. It says, explain 5 advantages of planning. 5 advantages of planning. First one is goal setting. Now, planning basically helps you set clear objectives. Simple as that, right? We have resource allocation. Maybe you are tasked with the responsibility of being a manager. You know that resource allocation is basically going to be one of your responsibilities. So if you are an effective planner, then your resource allocation skills will be quite good, right? And then there's risk management, identifying and mitigating potential risks, right? If you're able to plan, you're able to identify any risks that might arise, right? And then there's coordination, ensures all activities work together toward common goals, right? Remember, when you are sitting down allocating your resources, you need to also be able to ensure there is coordination within these allocations. You understand? And then there's flexibility. Flexibility basically allows for adaptation to changes in the environment, right? So if you plan your task effectively, it should be able to be flexible to adjust into any environment. You understand? Let's go ahead and look at the next question. Discuss the barriers or problems in planning, right? So we need to discuss 5 of them. 5 barriers or problems in planning. There we go. Right. Now, some of the common barriers in planning include uncertain future, right? Difficulty predicting future events, which is very true. I mean, if I am planning to go out tomorrow, I have no idea if tomorrow is it going to rain or is it not going to rain. What must I bring when I go out? What must I leave behind? You understand? Things like that. So the uncertainty of the future can hinder the way we plan things. You understand? And then there's resistance to change. Employees or stakeholders may resist new plans, right? So back to the example we were making. You are planning to bring change into the organization. Now, when people are resistant to change, it will be difficult for you to actually implement these new changes. You understand? So these things, they also affect the whole planning, right? And then lack of information, insufficient data for accurate planning. If I don't have all the necessary information needed, I cannot effectively plan. You understand? And then overemphasis on formal planning. too much focus on paperwork, not enough on implementation. Everything on paperwork needs to be in order. Now the problem is we tend to focus too much on the paperwork and less on implementing the plan. You understand? So those are the things that can affect planning, right? And then we also have time and cost. Planning can be time consuming and costly, right? If maybe you are planning to build a very huge or you're planning for a very huge project, right? Obviously it will consume a lot of your time and a lot of your financial resources. Let's go ahead and look at the next question. For planning to be successful, certain requirements should be considered. Explain these requirements for successful planning. Right now, we understand what are the barriers to planning. Now we are looking at the requirements to a successful planning. Right. First one is clear objectives. Well-defined goals are crucial for effective planning. Right. If you are uncertain of what is it that you want to achieve, it's going to be pointless for you to plan, right? Inclusivity, involving relevant stakeholders in the planning process, right? If your plan requires that you will have to get a supplier, that means you'll have to include the relevant stakeholders for that. You understand? Flexibility. Plans should be adaptable to changing circumstances, right? Whatever your plan is, it needs to be adaptable. If you are planning to start tomorrow and it turns out tomorrow's weather is terrible, your plan should still be able to accommodate such things. You understand? So it should be flexible to the changing circumstances or environments. You understand? And then realistic. This one is very important. Plans should be achievable and available with available resources. You cannot plan for something that is unrealistic. Right? You cannot say by tomorrow. For an example, you cannot say by tomorrow we are going to the moon, but you don't have all the right resources in place. You understand? So your plans need to be as realistic as possible and very achievable, right? And then there needs to be communication, clear communication of the plan to all involved parties, right? Anyone who is involved in the plan needs to be informed. Then let's look at the last question for the day. Give 5 examples of operational goals or objectives suitable for any hospitality establishment, right? So we're looking for operational goals or objectives that are suitable specifically for any hospitality business, right? Right. The first operational goal is improving customer satisfaction, right? Enhancing guest experience and feedback, right? Next one, we have efficient service delivery, right? Streamlining processes for faster and better service. Then we have employee training, ensuring staff is well trained for optimal performance. Then cost control, managing expenses while maintaining service quality. And then we have health and safety compliance, which one is very important for basically any type of establishment, which is ensuring adherence to health and safety regulations. That is it, Bafethu. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're watching this video and you still haven't subscribed, click on that subscribe button, click on that bell icon so that you get instant notifications for every time we drop new content. All the links to our socials will be appearing at the top of the screen. If you have a question or you want to make a video request, you can make it there and we will make it happen. Now, as I always say, Bafethu, for myself and my team at TV Tutorials, adios.